sometimes you leave a place and you want to see that place again, but on the other side. And sometimes the best way to do that is being in a division where they got to see you twice a year. So, I think that sometimes having that something to prove or wanting to prove to somebody probably, play some part in him specifically ending up in Philly.
What's up, it's Keyshawn, all facts, no breaks, and joining us today is wide receiver from the New York Giants, Darius Slayton. So tell me, man, you getting ready to actually, training camp is right around the corner, you're about a week away. What has this offseason been like trying to get ready, Darius, for training camp?
It's been pretty good so far. Just been training, trying to stay in shape, get my body ready to go. I train in Georgia, so it's been hot. So that'll probably help me when I get back up to Jersey. It won't be as hot, but it's been a good offseason so far.
So when you look at where you was drafted at coming out of Auburn in the 5th round, 171 pick overall, so you outperformed, that draft position your rookie year. What would what type of advice would you give to players that had high hopes going into the draft, but not necessarily getting their name called into the later rounds? What type of advice would you give those guys to kind of get over that?
I would say just believe in yourself. Everybody, no matter where you get drafted or your contract status, everybody has to go out there and compete. So at the end of the day, once you start day one of camp, obviously there's hierarchy amongst the team, but at the same time, everybody's competing. Everybody has to go out there and show. If there's a guy in there getting paid $20 million, you need to go out there and show why you're getting paid $20 million. If you're a 5th round pick, you need to show why you're better than that. So at the end of the day, everybody's on the same playing field of having something to prove. And I would say just believe in yourself, man, and the rest will work out.
So in your rookie season, you caught in 14 games, you had like 48 catches, like 750 yards, 8 touchdowns. But then in week 15 against Miami, you caught this touchdown pass from Eli Manning. Who actually has the ball, you or Eli?
Man, that ball is in limbo. Because I remember I asked Eli at the time, I was like, look, you done thrown a lot of touchdowns. And I was like, and I'm a rookie. You know what I mean? I was like, let me have the ball. And I asked him about it, I think maybe a day or two after the game. And he told me, he's like, man, I don't even know where that ball's at. So I was like, oh, somebody done that thing probably on eBay somewhere.
eBay.
Or something. So I actually have no idea where that ball is at. I wish I had it, but I got like a not the real ball, but like a fake 8 touchdown ball.
Oh, the one with the white paint on it or something. They do the white paint and
it's my 8th touchdown ball, but it's definitely not the actual ball.
Yeah, see, I kept a lot of balls. I got a lot of touchdowns, but I kept a lot of balls. I guess milestone balls, so to speak. And speaking of milestones, you and Eli Manning connected against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that was. Let me see. Yeah, it was against the Eagles. You had 154 yards, 2 touchdowns. Was that your best game of your career so far? Because y'all didn't play a whole lot of games together.
Yeah, we only played probably 2 or 3. It's definitely one of my better games. I don't know if I would say it's my best game I put together, but statistically, from a yardage standpoint, I think that's my career high. So from a yardage standpoint, yeah, but probably not the best game I put together, I would say.
So you play with Daniel Jones, obviously, and Daniel Jones gets a lot of criticism for his quarterback play, in whether it's his turnovers early in his career or whether him just not winning enough games in New York, having played in New York myself for 4 years at the highest level. What is it that about Daniel Jones that a lot of people just, quite frankly, they don't know?
I think the biggest thing that people probably don't know or don't take into account is the amount of turmoil that's existed since our careers went on there. This is going on our 6th year there. We're on our third full staff. So 3rd full GM, 3rd head coach, 4th offensive coordinator. If you look across the NFL and the teams that win consistently, they don't have this much turnover. And there's a reason for that. It's hard to get continuity. It's hard to be consistently great when you're constantly adjusting to new faces, new philosophies, new schemes. So especially as a quarterback, I think it's especially tough. And I think that's probably one thing that's maybe understated. I mean, at the end of the day, the type of guy that DJ is, he wouldn't make excuses. He would say he has to be better. He would say he has to play better, whatever, so on and so forth. But I definitely think that that's one thing that's probably overlooked when you look at our specific career over the past 5 years.
So Darius, when you and I played with, I don't know what it is, man, 18 quarterbacks in 11 years, and so I've
Yeah.
been up and down the quarterback carousel, so to speak, in my career. But Patrick Peterson, Pat Pete said that recently that DJ Daniel Jones has a very difficult time processing the information, reading the defenses, all of those sort of things. But you've been one to push back on a lot of people's opinions of Daniel Jones on social media. What do you have to say about the fact that here you are, one of the better corners ever play in the league, saying he's not impressed with him, especially reading defenses?
Um, I mean, he's entitled to his opinion. Obviously, played for a long time. I got a lot of respect for Patrick Peterson, but at the same time, we played them twice in a 4-week span, and we put up close to 30 both times. And in the first game, they only won off a 63-yard field goal. So, but it wasn't like we were getting stopped. And then we played him again in the playoffs, and he set a playoff yardage record at the Vikings, which he was on the team at the time. So it's an interesting take. If it was maybe another team that we were maybe worse against, I would understand the take more. But it's just an interesting take considering we saw them twice, and it wasn't like there was a whole lot of us not scoring. So it was an interesting take to me. Like I say, he's entitled to his own opinion, but I just found it odd that it came from that source.
Well, I saw last summer you said, I hope I can play with him my entire career. We're talking about Daniel Jones. So would you follow him if he were to leave the Giants?
Um, if it would
No.
work out that way,
Yeah, it's okay. No,
Let him answer. Let him
Listen.
answer.
listen. Me specifically, I personally play well with DJ, despite maybe Keyshawn, you experiences your career where it might not be the guy for everybody, but there's a quarterback. Sometimes people just get along. Like me and him see the game the same. So specifically, me and him hasn't been bad for me. Now you could say overall, you could maybe argue whatever for our team, this guy, that guy, whatever, but specifically our connection has been strong ever since we came in, and for the most part, I've played good ball with him.
Right. And you could argue that you don't want to play with 18 quarterbacks. You want to play with your one quarterback. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree.
If he had the opportunity to look, every quarterback was good for me because they had to throw me the football no matter what, or they was going to wind up getting benched or something like that. So
Yeah.
I get it. No matter who the quarterback was, just put the ball in the vicinity and go get it. But at the same time, in certain situations, just like you, Darius, you didn't show up to certain offseason things for the Giants because you felt like, okay, I'm in my second year of a $12 million deal. I got to get my money. Y'all playing around. And if I'm not putting up the same type of numbers as everybody else, then y'all going to use that against me and try to say that I'm not playing at a certain level to get the money that I want to get. So when you look at it in your situation, you said, okay, I'll kind of not necessarily cave in, but I'll meet you halfway. And you wind up restructuring your deal to, put some incentives in there so you can make some money, some more money. What made you decide to do that instead of just standing firm?
So what it really kind of came down to was my biggest thing has been out, I want the chance. I don't play football to just play. I want the chance to show that I'm amongst the best in the game. But the reality of being a receiver is if you don't get the opportunities to do so, you're not going to have the production. So if, like, for instance, last year I had 74 targets. There's never been a history of football been 1,000-yard season on less than 80 targets. So at the end of the day, if you want to, especially nowadays where guys are going for 1,600, 1,700, if you want to play at that pace, you need the ball. And so that was kind of what going into this offseason kind of led to was, obviously, you're trying to maximize your dollars, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to make sure that it was known that, if being here and me being a part of the offense and being a big part of the offense is not the thing here, then that's okay. But, we'd either like to move on and go somewhere else or make the investment that implies that I am that, so that was kind of where we ended up. And make a long story short, obviously I'm under contract, so I can't get out of here unless they trade me or cut me, which they're not going to cut me. So when they didn't opt to trade me, I like to play. So, at the end of the day, when mandatory minicamp came around and, guys are practicing, like at the end of the day, like I play football because I love to play the game. So, I was ready to get back on the field, ready to go compete. So whatever incentives they threw in there, we settled on and just kind of kept it pushing, and we'll see how the year goes.
Now that they drafted Malik Nabers, how you think you'll benefit from him being on the field and some of the things that he is going to bring to the table?
I think just natural, him being a 6th pick, people are going to have eyes on him. So if they got eyes on him, they're not going to have eyes on me. And I think just that in general will help. But yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing until obviously, you got to go out there and start making plays. No matter where you're drafted, if you're not making plays, people aren't going to respect you. But, he's a good player. I believe he will. But, off rip, I'm sure people are gonna have eyes and be trying to slow him down. So that'll help me for sure.
What are your first impressions on him? Like, how do you think he'll factor into year one? And do you have any advice for him?
He's looked good. Honestly, in my opinion, he reminds me of Jamar Chase. It's like a clone on him.
Yeah, that's the comp I had for him too.
Their
He's
movements.
shorter though, right?
How tall is Jamar though?
And I thought Jamar was at least 6 feet.
Jamar Chase is 6. He's listed 6.
Yeah, so Malik's about 6 foot.
Yeah,
like about the same size. Like dimensionally, they're about the same. And his body movements, it's actually kind of weird watching him move around because, but I think he's really talented. He's got good hands. He'll that for us, our system, the biggest hiccup as a rookie is trying to get down all these terminologies that Dayball has for us. But once he gets all that down, I think he'll have no problem having success.
But let me ask you this: you mentioned the terminology. What would be something? What would be a play that they would call? Like, give me a play.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's see her play.
So we have like 2 things, right? So we operate off of like one words a lot. So let's just say rat. This isn't a real play, but let's just say rat is a play. Rat would be like, yeah, rat.
Okay.
So like quarterback comes in the huddle, DJ comes in the huddle, he says rat on the alpha, break. So that's if we're going faster or if they just don't want to make full play calls. But rat will stand for gun dual right 56 Haas choice.
So that's what gun dual right 56.
Yeah, 56 Haas choice.
Haas choice.
All of that will be rat.
Yeah.
So we could do that.
Just disguise? Or like, what is that? Why are you just doing
it's just for speed to get out of the huddle quicker.
Okay, Get out the huddle. In 2 minutes or something like that, they might go to their play. They might go to their normal play calls in 2 minutes rather than get huddled. They just say rat, 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 and everybody knows what to do.
And you go. Or we get in the huddle and we go through a full call. So those are like, and we move a lot. So almost every play has some form of, that's really what messes people up is that there's a lot of movement. So it might be like, gun flank left, flappy, Z shift, X pylon, Z cross, whatever. But flappy's a shift, and then you have Z shift, and then flank left in itself, the formation is left, but the 2 receivers are right. It's a 12 personnel. So if it's flank left, your 2 tight ends are left, your 2 receivers are right. But if it's Z shift, you'd be starting left. If you're following what I'm saying, then you'd shift right. To go, you would go. Right. So
I'm trying. I'm sure he's got it.
Exactly. So, but that's what I'm saying. Where like it gets to be a lot of words in the huddle, and then you get out there and you're like, all right, flank left, I'm right. I got the shift. All right, damn. It's like what was even my route sometimes. So that's just what I mean by it gets a little wordy.
They just told you you're right. If you the X, you got the damn pylon, and if you the Z, you got the cross. That's your route.
Well, in that case, yeah. But sometimes I'm just telling you. Sometimes you get in there, you listening, and you like, Lord have mercy.
What's your favorite route to run?
Uh, I like go balls and slants the most,
Yeah.
Go
probably.
balls and slants.
Yeah.
Typical,
It's
typical
not
modern day wide
a
receiver. All they want to do is run down the field. They don't want to go in.
I
They don't
wanted
want
to
to do no
hear a
dirty work.
comeback or
They don't want to do
it's
nothing. They don't
okay.
want to work. That's the problem with the receivers today. They don't want to work. They
Hey
do
man,
not want to
everybody's
work.
not 6'5", 220 like you. Okay. You was they wasn't looking to hit you. They eager to hit me. Slim
Right.
body across the
No,
back, they can't wait.
it's all good, man. So, what type of team y'all went out and got Brian Burns this year? What type of team you think y'all gonna have? You added a big defensive presence to go along with Dexter Lawrence. You know what do you think y'all gonna look like?
He's a dog too. I'm a Panthers guy. You guys took my guy, but he's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for sure up front we're gonna be crazy on defense. I think our pass rush is gonna be amazing, and it's gonna help our back end a lot, not have to cover as much. Hopefully, create some more turnovers, and then in turn that'll help us have better field position on offense, give us more advantageous situations, and hopefully we'll be able to capitalize on them. But I think we're gonna be a tough team to beat as long as we take care of the football, and we got so many explosive players on offense. It's just a matter of getting people the ball and letting people do what they do.
Was you shocked that Darren Waller decided to hang him up?
Nah, to be honest, last year he would, how it is in the locker room. I used to always
Yeah,
tease him and
yeah,
be like, man, I
yeah,
need one more year. I need one more year. He used to be like, man, Slay, I don't got it in me, man. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. So I kind of figured he was, probably on his
1 foot
way.
in, 1 foot out.
Exactly.
So Hard Knocks is the Giants gonna be featured on Hard Knocks this year. Like, take me through it though. Is it a distraction? Because none of the coaches I ever had in the teams, they said, nah, man, we're not doing that. That's not
Yeah.
part of what we do. Do you think it's gonna be a distraction or is this gonna be normal, everyday life for y'all?
I think for the people that are involved, maybe. But I mean, if it doesn't really, fortunately, like Saquon ended up departing, which that was kind of the biggest one. But he's not on our team anymore. So it's like he's not like in the building, but maybe they obviously go through they talk about different people's situations. So maybe whoever they spoke about, but I imagine it won't be too much of a deal inside of the building.
Yeah, you said Saquon had jumped ship though. When you learned he was like, man, I'm going, I guess it would be down 95. I'm going to Philly, man. I'm getting ready to go play with the Eagles. What was you like, oh,
That's
was you like, man, go get your money? Or was you like, damn, we fucked up?
Nah, that's like one of your teammates transferring to Alabama, man. I feel like that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
But
knowing the whole situation over the past 2 years and knowing the caliber of player that he is, I wasn't I wasn't too mad at him. At the end of the day, like he got to do what's best for him, and that's what he did. And
Mm.
I think that there was, um, hmm. I just think that I'm sure you can maybe relate to this, Keyshawn, but sometimes you leave a place and you want to see that place again, but on the other side. And sometimes the best way to do that is being in a division where they got to see you twice a year. So, I think that sometimes having that something to prove or wanting to prove to somebody probably, play some part in him specifically ending up in Philly, but also on Philly's end, you got to imagine for their organization, their front office, they would love nothing more than take the Giants' best player. So
yeah,
I
no.
think on both ends, it probably was some, you know,
Yeah, I just don't
interest there.
understand. I mean, I know you like DJ and all that. It's cool. I get it. It's your quarterback. You want him to throw you the ball. That's cool. You didn't say it. I said it. I wouldn't have paid him. I'd have gave the money to Saquon Barkley. That's just me. That's just the way that I view it. The Philadelphia Eagles certainly got the better of the two, no question about it. They certainly got better by Saquon going right up the road. Because the dude, if he's healthy on the field, you gotta deal with him. I mean, he's something to be, and you
Yeah.
put him behind Jalen Hurts in the offensive line with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert at the tight end position. Like they got some shit for y'all. That's the only thing. Like sometimes I don't understand what general managers be thinking. I remember when I left Tampa Bay, went to Dallas. and then I went to Carolina, just like you just said, Darius, Tampa Bay was going to have to see me twice. And I made sure they knew it too. Because I couldn't stand the head coach, so I was gonna make sure I put my foot in his ass out the gate. You know what I'm saying? And let him know at the same time that I'm getting ready to do this to you. It ain't nothing you and your defense and my friends and some of my best friends on the defense can do about it. You know, and they couldn't. I bloodied their nose both times we played them. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine how Saquon, he gonna come back to Giant Stadium and he gonna see him in Philadelphia and he's gonna be ready to do some work.
Sure. You're going to be ready to go try.
How's Devin Singletary looking? He was my fantasy running back last season. So
Yeah, he's a good player. Good player, great pro. He's looked good so far. Can catch it, can run it. He's kind of like he can do whatever you need him to do, kind of back.
Yeah.
Hey man, you got the skill camp coming up. You got the annual Slayton skills camp coming up on July 20th, even though I didn't get an invitation, because I guess you probably figure I don't have skills no more, but it's all good. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, something we started doing 2 years ago. It's just a free camp that I host kind of back at my old high school, kind of in the community that I was around in, and just just a free camp. But we kind of do a lot, just something to get the kids out the house on the field. We give away like little goodie bags and stuff. So just something for the kids to come out, have a good time, and hopefully this year I think we went with a little older age group though. So, hopefully try to leave them with something that they can actually take into their game. And that's all it really was, just trying to reach back into the community that helped raise me.
Where exactly are you from?
So I'm from a town called Lilburn, but it's in Gwinnett County, Georgia. Is probably more well known.
Oh, so you Georgia, but you wind up going to Auburn because UGA didn't come up with enough money.
No, that was pre NIL when I was coming out.
I know
what that mean? Yeah, what's that mean?
Exactly. I was pre NIL too.
Yeah, what
it's
that
all
mean?
good. If
SEC.
you got what you got, you got it. It's the SEC.
Nah.
Nah, but we were talking earlier about the Netflix series Receiver. You said you watched a little bit of it. Did you get a different perspective of how the other receivers went about their business?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to watch like other teams and kind of how thinking about my wording.
Don't be shy, man. Say what you're gonna say.
I mean, I think it's just receiver is such an opportunity position that sometimes it's hard to watch other people, and you watch games, and you think about your own games. And it's like sometimes you're out there, and it's like, bro, how is it that it's impossible to get the ball? And then it's like you watch other people, and it's like they get the ball no problem, and it's like they end the game, they have 12 targets, 11 catches, and it seems like nothing. It seems like it was just like effortless.
Right.
You sit there and you're like, I mean, what is so different? But I think I like that show. It shows you get a lot of those ISO cams on the receiver, so you just get to see the guy work. And like, I appreciate receiver play. I appreciate guys getting open, how they craft and things like that. So it's been interesting to watch.
I used to tell people all the time, Darius, they be like, oh, this, that, and the other. I said, man, it take 11 motherfuckers for me to get the football. Okay? And they say, how can it be 11? You on the field. The goddamn coordinator, the quarterback, the other receivers running their routes, the running back, all the offensive linemen, the tight end. That's 11 people for me to get the football. I can't do, if you dialing it up, I can only do what you dial up at the end of the day. Right? So I feel your pain when you sit back and you watch dudes, and you're like, damn, he got 13 targets? I can't even get 3 targets. He got 13? Like, come on now. But I didn't necessarily go through it like that because, most of the teams that I played on, I was the number one guy. They was going to make sure I got the football, or I got enough targets to where I can make a difference with the team. So, no, but I understand that wide receiver frustration. Believe me.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when you're trying to get your money. When you're trying to get your money and you like, well, shit, if they threw me 250 damn balls and they motioned me across the formation and stacked me behind people, I can run to the flat and catch the ball too. But your system you in don't allow you to do certain things, and you just got to make the most of what it is that you have and then go from there.
Yeah. So, but it's been interesting to watch. I like all those guys that are on there. I think they're all really good ball players, and it's been entertaining to see. So looking forward to finishing
What are your personal goals for the upcoming season?
it. To win is number one. I've been here 5 years. We went to playoffs once. Other than that, we've won like 4 games 3 times, 6 games once. So my primary focus is just to win. Because honestly, I've had the year where I play well and we just lose. And it's fun to play well, and it's cool, but at the end of the day, it just gets exhausting. Even if you're in the game with 100, that game that he brought up earlier about Philly, I had 150 whatever, 2 touchdowns, we
Two
lost.
touchdowns, yeah.
So it's just like
Yeah.
it's like you can't even really leave the stadium as happy as you'd like to be, because it's like, damn, like what else do I need to do to win, to get the job done? So that's really my primary goal. I have goals and things I wanna achieve, but as we've already said, it'll kind of come down to whether or not I get the opportunities. I mean, last year I caught 50 balls on 74 targets for like 770 yards. I mean, it's not a whole lot more you could squeeze out of that. There's a play or two I could have made, of course. But at the end of the day, if you want to compete with the guys that are at the top of the league, you got to get in that 150, 100. I got to get in that Keyshawn Johnson target range in order to get the yards. So trying to find my way at least somewhere up there.
Man, we ran the ball, man. Don't listen to
No,
nobody.
I did
We
my
ran the ball.
homework.
No, we
I
ran
did
the
my
ball. Teams I played on ran the ball, but when we threw, they threw it to me. That's all. We ran the ball.
Okay.
Well, I've got some fan questions. What's the best DB you've played against? Best corner?
I would say at the time, right, that I played him.
Yeah.
Not like at the time I played him my rookie year, it's Stephon Gilmore. That was the year he won Defensive Player of the Year. That was tough.
Traps. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I actually caught the ball. I actually had a pretty good game against him, but
it
he
was
had
tough.
Like 3 PBUs. It was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
What was
tough.
tough? What was tough about it though?
At the time, he was so smart and he played within that New England system. So like beating him was just tough because he would play his leverages. He wouldn't like give up stupid stuff. Like if it was 3rd and long and you were in a double move, he's not biting on the first move. Like a lot of DBs are just, they don't think. So you can win with stuff you shouldn't win, but he wasn't giving up. Like, if he's inside leverage, he wasn't giving up the inside. So it just made it have to either be a fight or, it was a dead down. But he was really good.
Do you talk when you out there? Or you just like a quiet, like a church mouse?
I would say if somebody starts with me, then we could do it. But I typically don't start it unless I'm really cooking. And then it's just like, nah, I might have to give it to you. But other than that, I typically be pretty cool unless somebody start with me.
Yeah, that's how I was though. Everybody think I was always talking shit. I just had a certain look to my face, like a certain, when I'm looking at my kids and they doing something they shouldn't be doing, they know. That's kind of how I had to look on the field. And then as soon as somebody would say something, I'm like, man, one thing you better do, you better shut up because I'm getting ready to barbecue you real fast.
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite teammate you've played with or any funny locker room stories?
Favorite teammate. I think on the field, Nick Gates, one of our old centers, was one of my favorite dudes to play with. He had like
shout out Gates. He went to Nebraska with me.
Oh yeah. So
yeah, I know
Nick. He's just a good dude, and then he just played hard
from Vegas.
And Nick was like the type of dude where like you go across the middle, you might get smoked or something. Like as soon as you look up to get him, he's gonna be right there to help you up. Like, that's why I like Nick.
Keyshawn, he probably played with Bo Nix too at Auburn.
I missed him by 1 year.
Man, Bo Nix been in college for like 9 years.
Yeah, and I somehow missed him by 1 year.
I can't believe he was in school so long.
That's funny. But then go ahead.
I was gonna say he still went first round, right?
Yeah. If you had to position swap, what do you think a different position you could play?
Corner.
For sure. Oh, you think you could play corner?
For sure. Yeah. Got length, speed.
Yeah, you might not want to do that though.
Corner ain't what everybody make it out to be. People, corner's so hard. It's only be hard.
Nowadays it ain't they be out there pump faking like they really covering man to man and doing that. It's like, man, stop, man. You got to help over the top. Who you
They
think you
dudes
talking
being
to?
covered threes and bracket coverages and all these exotics. It's like, bro, you ain't like, come on,
Now,
man.
when I was playing, they was in true man to man. They followed every week. You would line up if it was Rod Woodson, Dion, Ty Law, Champ Bailey, Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, Charles Woodson, Asamoah, who else it would be? Sean Springs. I mean, it was just Ray Buchanan. You look up, man, it was just Ashley Ambrose, Dale Carter, James Hastings. Every single week, you had 1-2 DBs that every week. It's just like, I can't get a break.
Yeah.
But nowadays, they be acting like they tough. I'm like, man, stop it, man. Stop.
There'd be so much, all type of stuff. I'd be like, bro, I don't even know how you
all them antics.
Yeah, man. Like, whatever, bro.
Last question: are you playing college? Are you playing NCAA? It just came out yesterday. College football.
Yeah, I played yesterday. A little bit yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah,
is it like the NFL game? Or is it? What is it?
It's the first. It's the first time the NCAA came out since 2014. It just came out yesterday.
People and it's only college players right now.
Yeah, and people are you actually have the names of the college players and stuff like that. So it's dope.
Yeah, let me know if I pop up on that. Let me know if I pop up on that motherfucker, because they're going to have to pay me. For sure. I don't want to use my name. Don't use my name.
Now that I think about it, you not in Madden either?
My son would know. I don't know.
He has like the card. Like, you know, when
he has an Ultimate Team card.
Yeah, he actually has a fire card. He has like a 96 or 97 card.
Darius,
it's low key
what,
crazy.
You think I'm weak or something?
No, you just said
you get fucked up now. Come on now. Stop it now.
You just said it. You didn't want to be in the game unless it cut you the check. So I ain't know if you had the same system with Madden.
I'm sure I get something from Madden. You know what I'm saying, from EA. I'm positive I do on the pro level. On the college level, I don't. But as far as the card or whatever, my son would know all that. I don't know all this shit because I don't play the game. But if I got a card and it's legit, then that means I was legit. You know what I'm saying? I played with 18 different quarterbacks in 11 years, though. So that's, that thing, man. I ain't never running back with the same dude from the beginning to the end. Every year I look up in the huddle, it was a different cat.
Darius,
right?
Darius, chew chips ahoy or hard chips ahoy? Choose wisely.
Chewy.
Chewy.
Yeah.
Who?
The cookies. You never had the Chips Ahoy cookies?
Yeah, but I don't eat that stuff. No, that's bad.
I like the Chewies too.
No, it's bad. That's just better cookies. I get better cookies than Chips Ahoy in the bag.
I'm saying when you was in college, like you was younger,
Not in college when I was young. When I was a kid, we would have some, but my mom then would make the Pillsbury joints that come in a long tube because they were cheap to make. So they would cut them and throw them in the oven. We never really was a Chip Ahoy dude. We couldn't really afford extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, the real talk growing up, man, I grew up poor in South Central LA. We just didn't have extra treats. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was an extra treat, we probably stole the shit from the store. Yeah. Just keep it 100 with you. What you shaking your head for? He's shaking his head because he grew up eating Susie cakes and all the good shit like that. Now, I gotta steal my stuff. He laughing. No, that's real talk. We would have to go to the store and buy stuff, and when we buy it, we might have wanted something extra. So we would then figure out how to finesse it. That's all. I mean, you growing up a certain way, man. You growing up a certain way. Hey, when we was when we was in college, because I went to JUCO too. I went to school with like Isaac Bruce and a couple other cats. When we was in JUCO, Darius, so this was like staying out of trouble. You just didn't want to. It was trouble, but you didn't want to get into trouble to a whole nother level. So we would go. We would go to the grocery store. This is how bad it was in JUCO. We would go to the grocery store, and stores got two aisles. I mean, two entrances. They got one on one side, one on the other. And it would be late at night. So late at night, they only got like one register open. So we would go in the store. We'd load up the little small baskets. Somebody would load up the basket. then they would slide it toward one of the doors where the cashier's back is turned. So they don't see that door open. We would load up there and load it up and slide it through and then crawl on the ground, grab it, while somebody at the cash register spending about $2 on some Gatorade or something. Oh man, we had to live.
Finesse though, yeah, finesse gang. Yeah, I get it.
No, for real. Hey, that JUCO life, I didn't have to do it, but I respect anybody who did it.
JUCO, that JUCO life.
Rough.
And I went to JUCO at the crib, so it wasn't like I was in Mississippi somewhere. I was at the crib.
You were across the street.
Yeah, I was basically across the street. But at the end of the day, I see some of my teammates that came from out of state. Man, they used to break into the damn vending machines because they couldn't survive. They wasn't getting no real money.
Yeah.
So they was like trying to figure it out. Taco Bell every night, But that's the JUCO life. JUCO was something else. I wouldn't wish it on anybody though, that's for sure. But man, I appreciate you, Darius, joining us on the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.
Look forward to you having a bomb ass season. Oh, you out there with my godson is Darnay.
Darnay.
Okay.
Yeah, Darnay Holmes is that's my godson.
Oh, I love Darnay. Yeah. Matter of fact, for early favorite teammates, he really is one of my favorite teammates. I actually do like Darnay a lot. He's a good dude.
Good dude, always happy. The natural.
Yeah, always in a good mood.
Yeah.
All right, baby. Well, thank you.
So appreciate y'all having me on.
Thank you, man.
That's a wrap for today's show. Thanks to Darius Slayton for joining us today on All Facts No Breaks podcast. Now remember, to find the podcast, go to wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, to subscribe. Peace.